All right, welcome everyone. My name is Christina Amon, and I am really honored and very grateful to be sharing this spring community health reset informational Zoom with you so that you can learn more and see if this is something that you might be calling in to join us for this season. It is the classic time of year to give your body this reset to nourish, detoxify, and regenerate. And we're going to jump into what that all means. So, um, we are transforming lives through premium nutrition and community accountability. That's what we're going to be doing together in this transformation journey. And you get to participate in it as much or as little as you like. If you're a real community person or more of a hermit, you do you, but the resources are here. And going into it together can really encourage us to stick with it and really see the results and have that full transformation experience. So that's what we're all about at Purium. And I want to tell you a little bit about my story. I've been using these products for 7.5 years. So I pulled these couple of pictures here with my children. These are literally the last pictures that were taken of me before I started on superfoods. And what I love about this is that I'm smiling. And, I've always been a grateful person and life's always been blessed. And yet, and this picture of me in the blue bikini here is kind of an example of what was going on the inside. I was smiling on the outside, but on the inside, I had a lifetime of bloating and constipation. I had a lifetime of eczema all over my body. I, after having two children, thought that I was aging and that this was like as good as life could get, that now from now on life is going to include minor aches and pains, mild depression, low energy, kind of like a heavier weight in my body. I just thought this is as best as I can hope for because I'm already doing all the healthy things. Drop a 1 in the comments if you've been there, if you've been that person who like I'm already doing all the healthy things, so this must be as good as it gets. Um, I was eating organic. We were farming. We were growing a lot of our own food and getting the rest from farmers markets and neighbors and things like that, health food store. So I was already, eating what many people call superfoods. So I was skeptical, I'll be honest. I didn't think that there would be much for me in Purium. And I was so surprised to find out, literally within days, how radical the transformation was for me. I mean, I started feeling this zest and joy for life within days. And go ahead and drop a 3 in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. There's something about these superfoods that help you feel like you come back to life. There's something that a presence that just awakens in you. If you know what I'm talking about, that balloon gets filled, the wilted flower, gets rehydrated. It's like, oh my gosh, I can jump out of bed with energy again in the morning and keep up with my kids and feel gratitude instead of worry, first thing in the morning. Like all these shifts I started to notice. I started to feel less pain. I actually was so depleted. I didn't know about postpartum depletion until I started to become undepleted, repleted. But I had brown and black striations in my teeth from mineral depletion. So my teeth got whiter. I stopped having cavities. I had had a whole lifetime of cavities. My digestive issues went away. My skin rashes cleared up. I was having deeper sleep, more energy. I started to lose some of the excess, just a little bit of excess weight and started to build lean muscle for the first time and started to get athletic for the first time in my life, really. So all of these things made me realize there is something going on here with these superfoods that is beyond anything I've ever experienced. I felt so deeply nourished and I had tried all the diets. Put a 5 in the comments if that's you. If you've tried all the diets, if you're like, I've tried all the things, searching and seeking to feel really optimal, knowing like aren't we here to feel really, really good in our bodies? So I had tried all the things and I had never felt so deeply nourished. So I really wanted to know, what is it? What is it about these superfoods? Because there's other superfoods, right? But what is it? And my conclusion was it's the soil. So this is a little bit, I'm going to do a little story of soil here, because we live in a world where our soils have become so depleted. They say that we actually have 1% left of the nutrient and mineral content that soils once had, and that I believe they once will again, once shall again. Drop a 10 in the comments if you're with me on that. We are here to regenerate soils. We will see that day. But in the meantime, we're living in very strange times where we're in potentially 99% of our soils are depleted. That's going to lead to 99% of our foods being depleted. So let me just give you a little visual of what does that look like. Well, these numbers aren't even accurate of where we're at, but this gives you an idea of, in order to get the iron content of spinach in 1953, in 1997, which is quite ancient now, you'd have to eat that many more bowls. Like, that's where we're at. Just think about where we're at today. How much more food we would have to eat to get the same nutrient content. It's just not possible. You can't eat that much. So I hopefully, drop a 4 if you're like, okay, I'm starting to see where superfoods is coming into this picture. I thought I was doing all the things. I'm eating whole food, I'm eating organic, but there's more to it. So, when you're missing stuff in the soil, we're going to be missing it in our bodies. And Franklin Roosevelt said, a nation that destroys its soil destroys itself. So not only are we depleting the soil with farming practices, essentially, is what's going on, not putting stuff back in and just taking over time with industrial agriculture, but also with chemicals. And the leading one is this one called glyphosate. Drop a 1 if you've heard of glyphosate. Drop a 6 if you haven't. We're here to learn about it. We're all learning about it. But it's basically Roundup. And it's a really highly toxic herbicide. It's actually a very intense antibiotic that gets used and has been so heavily promoted around the world that it makes its way to our dinner tables and into our families' mouths and into our guts, and basically kills off the gut microbiome. Here's a Roundup ad. Doesn't that make you just want to go out and spray it on your food? I know I do. I'm sorry, I really like memes. I think they really tell a lot in the words and the pictures. So farming before and after Monsanto. Any questions? In 1913, corn was 100% farmer owned. And in 2016, corn is 95% corporately owned, over 90% GMO, and apparently you need to wear a hazmat suit to touch it. And this doesn't even touch on, the ancient sacred relationship that indigenous people have had with corn. So we're seeing a lot of problems in our food systems. This is my favorite meme of all of glyphosate memes. So, do you also eat these with that mask on? Just sums it up, right? Drop an 8 if you're with me on that one. But I'm not here to just talk about doom. What I'm here to just mention is we are living in very interesting times. Nobody's ever lived, no humans have lived through this kind of situation. And we're here to say we have solutions. So this is where Purium comes in. Why Purium? Well, the soil. So Purium partners with organic farms, regenerative farms for decades, and has really good relationships with people who have been putting compost and green manuring and putting those nutrients back in the soil year after year, letting fields go fallow when they need to go fallow, watering with spring water, picking the food when it's ripe, and then sending it straight to a juicing facility, and then a low temperature wind dehydration facility that really encapsulates the maximum amount of nutrients into these dried juice crystals that then get put into these compostable packaging that gets shipped to your door. So it's like, ideally we're living in the Garden of Eden. All of our soil is totally regenerated and we're all eating off the land and juicing and making these feasts together. And until we get there, this is like the next best option. Drop a 9 in the comments if you have been using these products, if you know what I'm talking about. There's just nothing quite like it else out on those shelves. Like when you go to the store, like nothing else is quite like the soil here. So, we talk about what farming used to be, and this is almost like if you could go to the store and get what it used to be like in all over the planet, that's Purium. So, and a lot of people are living in a food desert. That a food desert is literally means like they not only, I mean, what people call food nowadays is so deplete of nutrition that it's really not food. If like their food is coming from gas stations or even most grocery stores or convenience stores, it's really hard for people to get healthy. So this is incredible that this can get shipped to anybody's address in North America and Europe right now, for starters. So that's why Purium. Those are a bunch of reasons. You can read a little bit more about this, but the ultimate lifestyle transformation, which is what I'm going to be talking about here, is a 90-day commitment that's going to detox glyphosate, reduce caloric intake, and promote deep, restful sleep, helping you look, feel, and perform better than ever. So that's what we're here to talk about, and I want to dive in a little bit to what that looks like. If we're deeply nourishing ourselves, saturating ourselves with the nutrition that our body actually needs, our body will then let go of anything it's been holding on to, whether it's in the colon. Most people are walking around with excess pounds of undigested protein and impacted fecal matter that's full of toxins. So we're flushing that out. And then also, if the body isn't getting what it needs nutritionally, it's holding on to fat. Think about caveman days, famine. The body's going to hold on to fat as the last energy reserves to burn. So when we actually give our bodies that nutrition, if we've been eating thinking we're getting nutrition, but actually all that food's depleted of nutrients, now we're pouring in all these shakes and all these supplements I'm about to talk about, your body's going to be like, oh, I'm finally nourished. I can let go of all this extra. If it's fat, if it's toxins, if it's even limiting beliefs, and all kinds of other weights and burdens are going to be shedding. So what does that lead to? Healthy sleep, healthy gut, healthy mind, healthy mood, natural energy, and all of your productivity goes up, which means you get to be a stronger member of society, contributing to a better world. And that's what we're here to do, is to help you become that, help other people become that, and just make it a better place for future generations. So let's look at what's in your ultimate lifestyle transformation when it comes. It's been so methodically thought out. Our owner, founder, formulator, Dave and Amy, he's so brilliant, so wise, and has tested and studied with experts and just really come up with a formula that is so comprehensive. I mean, if you're like me, drop a 1 in the comments if you started on your superfoods and ended up just getting rid of pretty much all other supplements. Like if you had other things, you were just like, I don't need any of this stuff anymore. This covers it. And we're also eating whole foods, so you'll hear about that. But I'm going to go over these real quickly so that you can kind of get an idea of what we're ingesting and what I've been ingesting every single day for 7.5 years, and just continuing to feel younger and more glowing and all the great things. So Power Shake is it's a powder that comes in these incredible compostable packaging. You add water. It's going to contain basically all of your basic phytonutrients and micronutrients that you need in the day. Whatever else you eat or don't eat the rest of the day, your baseline's covered. So your grasses, your vegetables, your algae is very green, very alkalizing, detoxifying, but it also has some other foods in there that are going to make it a little bit more of a slow release. So depending on your metabolism, it might be a meal replacement, might be just a snack, but you are going to feel really nutrified with that green shake. So that's the Power Shake. Biomedic is our solution to glyphosate that we talked about earlier. This is an herbal formulation that comes in a capsule form that is going to go in, chelate out, pull out the glyphosate. And this has been clinically tested by a third party in to pull out in 6 weeks, pulled out 75% of the glyphosate, and repairs the gut villi, these little hairs that do the absorption and assimilation of all the nutrients you're eating, and then repopulates prebiotics and probiotics. So it's like a whole gut microbiome protection and repair. So that's a daily. And then aminos are amazing. And by the way, if anybody here wants to say anything more about any of these products, there's no way I'm going to cover all the factoids. There's like such incredible things to say about each one of them. Feel free to drop it in the chat. Yeah, get with a person to share the study with you. We have all of that. So the super aminos are incredible. They are aminos. So your body takes in aminos to build protein. We actually do much better building our own protein from amino acids than ingesting protein. So we're going to get 99% net utilization out of these super aminos for producing protein in our body versus eating dietary protein, which is going to be anywhere from 12 to 30 something percent bioavailability, meaning the rest of that, like what is that, 60 to some 80% might have to go be processed by the kidney and the liver. So these are really easy on the organs. They actually bypass the digestive system. They're pre-digested. So they're going straight into your muscle. And you get to build lean muscle. They're going into the brain. So they're a brain food. They're going into your skin. You get nice skin elasticity, energy. They're great pre-workout, great way to start your morning. They're incredible. I love my aminos. Drop a 9 if you love your aminos. Yeah, I love what somebody said here. Glyphosate blocks the ability for us to produce protein from amino acids. So the next product here we have is Apothecary. This is a nighttime elixir that you'll take before bed. It's one ingredient, tart cherry concentrate. And this is going to help you go into a deep state of REM sleep where you're getting all of you're replenishing all your cells from whatever kind of damage happened during the day just from being on this planet, And then our final product is Super Cleansar. This is another herbal formulation that goes into the gut and is going after parasites, candida, mold, fungus, and breaking up that fecal matter and flushing it out. So when you do this portion, you're going to be a little bit more focused on really consuming hydrating foods and moving that through. And if you're not quite ready for that level of detox, you can wait until you're ready, and you can learn more about, what's right for you. This is a very customizable program that meets you where you're at. So those are the products. And I want to get on to some stories here. So science shows you can transform your habits and your life in only 90 days. Awesome. Each pack features proven core nutrition superfoods plus uniquely designed support. And we have that 1% of nutrient dense foods because of the soils to address the #1 cause of health challenges, nutrient deficiency. Hooray. So we have this incredible purity commitment and quality commitment. We don't have any artificial colors, flavors, sweeteners, no synthetic vitamins, no binders, no fillers, no GMOs, no pesticides, no herbicides, no heavy metals, and our packaging is plastic free. And we support regenerative farming and, all of the other things that you can read here. We have an in-house microbiologist that's testing for any kind of contaminant and will discard the batch, because we're that committed to purity. So it would be hard to find another company at that level out there. Um, and we're really committed to regenerating the planet in so many ways, in all the ways that we've discussed so far. So we're all about that low carbon food print. So next we get to hear from Bob. And so Bob, if you want to unmute and share your story with us, here's your cute pics to go along with your testimonial.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can hear me okay, I'm sure.
Yep.
Anyway, I have my testimonial, but really it changed a couple of days ago when I looked under my bed and noticed a box that I had just kept putting things in that I don't use anymore. So I'm going to start with my feet. I used to have a lot of um, athlete's foot. Well, it doesn't grow anymore. So all that antifungal stuff, that's in the box. And then moving up to my shins and my legs, it was like, oh, I have this arnica. In fact, my friend came over the other day and it was like, I think I have some of that. And it's like, I used to ski. I live in a ski area here, and I used to ski, all day long. And I'd come back all sore and, want to take a bath in arnica, and don't do that anymore. Moving up the body, my boom boom. I had this psyllium husk powder that I just couldn't live without. I mean, it was like, I need this in order to not be constipated. Now, as my other friend over there says, it's like the train is coming in, it's like on time every day, and it's coming in the station. It's only going to stay there for 2 minutes. And so I also had next to my sink a basket full of um, reading material. Well, I don't have time to even check one email. It's like set down, done. Moving into my gut more, um, less fartulations or whatever you call them, and just feeling really without bloating, feeling good. And then, I have a souvenir pair of jeans that are 36 inches. Right now I'm wearing 30-inch jeans. So from here in this picture of me with the little fish, that's a 36-inch butt, I mean waist. And back in the picture all the way to the right, that's more of a 30-inch. So I've changed that. Moving up even more, we're talking about lungs. And I had all this cold medicine and also antibiotics, because there wouldn't be a year that passed that I didn't have bronchitis or pneumonia. And I haven't had that in years, like 2.5 years. And so I'm feeling that I can throw all this stuff away. Moving into my heart, well, I do have some blockages in my arteries, but it was from the tension and hard work and, working for somebody else. And now I think it's been fixed cured by network marketing. Yeah, it was. I have less stress. I'm my own boss, and I do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I'm feeling really good with my purpose of sharing this superfood. Going up even further, into my teeth and my mouth. When I came back from my dental hygienist, she was like, I have nothing to tell you to do. Everything you're doing is perfect. Whatever you're doing is great. And I read in David Sandoval's Green Food Bible that if you swish this green drink, the Power Shake, in your mouth, it does heal your gingivitis or any other related diseases to your gums. Moving up even further, my nose is not stopped up. It's usually very, very clear. Up a little more into my eyes, I found a bunch of 2.5 powered reading glasses. Well, I occasionally use 1.5 now, and my ophthalmologist is saying, wait a minute, Bob, your eyesight is improving. You are one of the 1%. You're 73 years old and you are 2040 right now. And last year you were 2020. What's going on? And I tell her about the superfood and this super Xylin. Anyway, I'm just feeling so good. And then into the brain, even more important, clarity and feeling my moods are not a roller coaster anymore. They're more like a rolling hills, It still goes up, goes down. I wouldn't want to give up the downs because I like the ups. So, and then even get to the hair. Well, my hair feels great. It's not falling out. And I think it's even getting darker, but who knows? Anyway, that's my story now because it's where I'm at. And I'm so glad for Purium. Thanks. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Give some love in the chat to Bob for sharing, and just congratulations. It's always such a relief for people to feel better, and be living life in a higher quality way. So there's a few more transformations here you can read about. And we've seen everything from people getting off of medications to getting fertile and having babies to getting off of depression, losing huge amounts of weight, gaining weight for people who needed to gain weight, increasing athletic performance and like winning competitions, and all kinds of crazy skin issues cleared up, and hormonal balances, and all kinds of adrenal imbalances regulated. It's just, the list goes on and on. So here's just a few stories. And, I want to talk a little bit about how you're going to be supported in this community, right? So look around. There's a few people here who you might see again, and we have a Facebook group that you can be added to if you want to be part of that. Excuse me. And within that, we have archived content, and we have people who are going to be adding new content. And guess what? You may also I invite you to add content if you're part of this group. It's anything from health tips to recipes to classes, movement classes, or mindfulness techniques. Anything that goes along with a transformation journey that's going to support people, you're welcome to contribute. We're going to have weekly Q&A Zooms where you can come. We'll come like this. We'll get back together and talk about our intentions, talk about our progress, ask questions, cheer each other on. So that's going to be part of the community as well. And right now I'd love to bring on my friend Carly, who is an incredible nutrition coach and a mama and a wife, and she is one of our has been one of our facilitators. And I would just love to hear from you, Carly, if you're able to come off mute, like what you've gotten the most out of Purium and what you're excited to share with people.
Yes, thank you, Christina, for the presentation. And every time we get to stand in front and teach people how to live better, it is so it fuels the soul. It really fuels the soul. So It's interesting, and you mentioned this in your presentation today. As a functional nutrition coach, like I really thought that I had it all figured out, and um, and much of what I learn in the human body is about the gut. You know, our the whole impact of the gut and the food that we eat, and ultimately we can't have health until the soil is healthy, and so when you talked about this with me with Purium before I even found it, you know, in the last 7 months, I was like, holy cow, this is actually a solution for it. Um, and before this, I had just had my baby. I'm up multiple times in the night, anywhere from 1 to 10 times every night. And so, um, the difference in how my energy, my skin looked and felt. I lost 10 pounds. I was like, I didn't even really realize I had that to lose. And it was interesting because it didn't all fall off at the same time. You know, everyone thinks, oh, okay, I just started drinking. It's been a week and I drank my juice. And it's like, no, it was going in and day out. And I saw that not only was I like getting tighter and back to that pre-body shape, but I was building muscle at a rapid rate. Like people were looking at me like, how did you just have a baby? I'm like, I don't know. I think it's a superfood. So like, I think it's my amino acids. Like I'm absorbing this now. I mean, because I know it's not because of my sleep. And I knew it wasn't because of the other things I was always doing, because that wasn't the thing that changed in my life. So adding it in and really taking the time to let myself experiencing that to the wholeness of being like, wow, I'm not at the gym enough to have gained this much muscle weight mass just by lifting. Like this is a switch. This is a game changer where I was like a jacked mom who just had a baby. You're like, how do you look like that? So to experience that firsthand is awesome. And then looking back at my after photos, which is part of the program, you get it and it's like take a before and after, really take that seriously, because I didn't realize I had blotchy skin before. Like I didn't even realize that my skin was uneven, kind of like this butterfly red patchiness. And then I took an after picture, just like in the same little outfit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my skin, it looks so different. And I'm like, interesting enough, because I had heard that from so many of my clients and people that were using the product. And I was like, yeah, it's an added benefit. So yes, to Bob's point, like it's not just the weight loss, it did affect the system in its entirety. And like you have this glow, actually, like I don't wear makeup or anything. So like I feel like I have the glow now, but you do have this glow. And so I attribute that to like having more nutrition, quality nutrition in our lives. And other products on the market, I have just never been able to stand behind because there's too many of the chemicals, the fillers, the binders, and they're still using all the sprays. And so this is a chemical that is, or this is a company that is dedicated to the purity. You know, these products are triple tested. Anything that's diluted, even a bit, even a little bit, regardless of profit margins, they get rid of it. It's not up to quality standards. It's not going on the market. And you can feel that difference in your body. Like, you know that you're having quality nutrition. My little kid, my baby, who's 10 months now, but he's been having Purium since he was young. Like as soon as he saw me with a shaker bottle, and now anytime I make a shake, he dances for it. So he will come like a little trained puppy and come right over because he absolutely loves it. And I think that is because it's like he knows that it's quality nutrition, and so the body really feels good to consume it. And I've been able to see that change. So yes, focusing in on removing glyphosate from the body, how that feels as a nutrition mindset. I'm always looking at our bowel movements and seeing how that changes through the process. So you will see the bowel movements change as you eliminate the parasites from the body, as you eliminate glyphosate from the body. For me, I wasn't absorbing essential nutrients coming from fats for a very long time with low fat dieting. And so it took 4 or 5 months before, with being very consistent with Biomedic, and now my stools are sinking. I now know that I'm correctly absorbing the nutrition that my body needs. And so I could go on with stories of different people and their experiences, but it really is an answer to a convenient solution for people who are on the road and busy and chaotic. And it's like, I don't have all the time in the world to sit and figure out how to cook all new things for myself. But guess what? If you have 2 of your meals a day with a power shake and aminos setting you up, you're really just filling in with some snacks coming with from Whole Foods, fruits and vegetables, and then a dinner in the evening. Or you can flip it vice versa. For me, I like to have that bigger meal at breakfast time, gives me more time to burn it off, and then having the shakes to fill out the end of the day. But it's definitely not a deprivation state. What's beautiful about this is it can be an and or, right? Like it's an and or. So for me personally, I just added it into my day, changed nothing else, and lost my 10 pounds. So it really depends. Yes. So it really just depends on what you want to do with it. And when you decide to make this investment in your own personal health, you naturally will turn away from things that you know that are not going to help your investment and your intention. And so having this community of people who are alongside of you, guys, community is so important for any success. It's the number one thing why people go to AA. They have community to come together. Well, our food is the same thing. Our food has these addictive properties. So we need a team of people to hold us up, to hold us together. So when we're on the edge and we're like, I'm at a birthday party and there's cake and pizza, we're going to be like, hey, have your shake before you go to the pizza party. And hey, we're all here to support you. Bring this as a side. And then that way you can eat and still enjoy. And so the community, whether you're dropping in your own recipes and being an active participant in it, or if you're watching, either way, be engaged in it. So leave a comment, talk, share a story, because that level of being vocal and coming out allows practitioners who we have in here with all different information and years of experience saying, hey, that's awesome. You're doing great. And so you have access to a nutrition coach. You have access to health people who can help you have this full healing by joining in this community and also being that support to other people as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carly. Give her
Yes,
some
thank
love
you.
in the chat. And so we have a start date of April 22nd. And it's really cool. It goes 4/22/24. Palindrome there. But if you are like, I don't want to wait till April 22nd, I'm ready now, drop a 3 in the comments. If everything you've heard, you're like, I'm ready now, I want to order. I'm gonna talk about that in a second, and we're almost done. But if you want to order now, you can jump in. We can add you to the Facebook group. There's content in there. You can start getting involved. And you can start inviting other people to join you. And so Carly and Bob and myself, we're all part of the Purium economy. We're actually getting paid to share with people that we love these solutions. And so this is a team retreat that we were on. We have a lot of fun, and you can learn more about the business by getting with the person who shared this with you. So get back with that person, and they have a special discount for you. They have 25% off our signature pack, our Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation. And depending on if you want to customize it, it's going to start at $360 for your first 30 days. And then the price is going to actually go down your second and third months, and then even more so the fourth month. As you continue to see the results unfold. So only transformed beings transform others. So let's walk through your personal transformation together. And this last quote here, do something today that your future self will thank you for. Thank you. And thank you everybody for your time. I'm going to end the recording and actually open it up for any further comments or questions or shares.